Hi, welcome to Cooking with the 80s. Today I'm going to highlight Billy Squier. It's a group, a singer that I was fond of when I was in high school. I'm just going to share with you my version of pepper poppers. So first, for the ingredients, we have 2 blocks of cream cheese, a cup of cheddar cheese, and then I take a pound of bacon and I cut it into about the length of the whatever peppers you're using. Cut it about that length. But I found if you cut it into thirds, the pound, it about fits just perfect. So for the spices, we have onion powder, salt. I use Sweet Baby Ray's. You can use whatever kind of barbecue sauce that you like. Garlic powder, black pepper, and chili powder. And then I buy about 40 jalapenos, fresh jalapenos from the produce section. And so what we do then is over here you can see how I've cut these jalapenos in half. So if you buy 20 jalapenos, you'll end up with 40, I call them boats, right? So how do you do that is a lot of jalapenos aren't straight, they're curved. So what we do is if you would cut it this way, you want to cut it so the curve's always up. So when they're laying on their side, they'll lay flat. If you cut them on the side and then you cut them in half, then they'll stick straight up and they won't balance on your pan. So what I do is I take the jalapeno and I do it so the curves like a banana. Hold it firmly with your thumb and your finger and cut through it. And then you get 2 pieces. So I take a spoon, smaller the spoon the better. You just kind of pry in the back and then just gently scrape out all the seeds. Now if you have a lot of people that you're serving that doesn't like spicy, you want to make sure to get all the seeds out, and that's usually pretty bearable for people that don't like spice. But if you do like it spicy, a little bit of spice, the more the spice, the more the seeds you leave in your jalapeno boat. And so I have some here that like it, some that don't, so I'm going to do a little bit of both. So that's how you cut a jalapeno in half. I'll do one more so you can see it. Curve side up. Start at the stem. And you can leave the stem. It's aesthetically nice to have the stem there. A lot of people call these the poor man's shrimp. But to talk a little bit about Billy Squier, in 1983 was my junior year. And I got to see Billy Squier in Nazareth warmed up for him at the Toledo Sports Arena. And at the time, he was one of my favorite artists, so we really enjoyed that concert. One of the things that we would always do before we got to the sports arena was we were usually starving, so we went to McDonald's right across the street, and I got 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, and a chocolate milkshake. That was my pre-game meal. All right, but Billy Squier's still playing now, and he just came out with a blues album, and he even took one of his hit songs, "The Stroke," and made it into a blues song, and it's kind of neat. Check it out on YouTube. All right, so that's what I do. That's how I cut a jalapeno. All right, now on to the recipe. All right, I take those 2 boxes of cream cheese. I set them out way in advance because I like to get them softened. They're easier to work with. So what I do is I add the cheddar cheese, 1 cup. All right. And then basically it's about a teaspoon of each of the spices, but I just salt it until it looks right. It's about a teaspoon. All right. And then I do chili powder, and I do it about a teaspoon. All right. And I do black pepper, and that's about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and about a teaspoon of garlic powder. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm seasoning my cream cheese. I just don't want it to be regular cream cheese inside my jalapeno. And then last but not least, the onion powder. All right, you want to make sure your hands are clean. A lot of people try to do this with a spoon, and I think the two greatest tools God gave us are our hands. So what we can do is we'll get in there. We'll just kind of mix it all up. Now the cream cheese itself will stick to your hands, but the cheddar allows it to start being able to be, it's a lot easier to handle with the cheddar cheese. So you just want to make sure you get it all mixed up because you don't want to take a bite and have too much salt in one bite and vice versa, but it's pretty easy to mix up. All right. All right, there. So you basically, if you've ever made a cheese ball, that's basically what you're getting, you know, is just a round ball. All right, so now what we do is we take our boats, and I got them all lined up here, and you take a little chunk of your cheese mixture and you put it in the jalapeno. Just kind of spread it. And you don't want it like hanging over the sides because as you bake these, they'll spill out. So you don't have to get them too full, but you don't want to cheat your people either. They want to taste that cream cheese, so you want to make sure you get it in there good. And it's pretty, you know, it's kind of fun to do these, but I compare them to making tamales. The Mexican women that I'd worked with at a place that I used to work, they got me excited about cooking Mexican food, which at the time I was 25, and I think the closest thing I had to Mexican food was Taco Bell. So they really got me interested. But one of the things they taught me how to make were tamales, and they're really painstaking, time. They take a lot of time to make, but the payoff's good, and that's basically what these are too. These don't really take as long though, if you get all your stuff prepped up ahead of time. So, all right, I'll be back when I get all these done. Okay, I got that all knocked out. So, just to kind of reiterate what I'm talking about with the jalapeno boat, when you're putting that cream cheese mixture in, you kind of want to press it into the pepper, and then just take it up to about a little bit higher than the level of the side of the cut, and that'll help keep it in there, retain it in there. Okay, on the next step, what helps it even more is the bacon. Right, so we cut the bacon a little bit longer than the length of the peppers. Like I said, if you take a pound of bacon and cut it into thirds, then you can place it over the pepper, and then you kind of set it down in there and just make sure that it's sitting well onto the cream cheese mixture. Once that bacon starts to cook in the oven, it'll really hold your cream cheese in your popper, in your pepper popper. The other thing I'd like to mention too is this pan. I got this pan at Walmart. It wasn't very expensive, but it's a nice big cookie sheet type pan with the little higher sides. It also comes with this screen in the bottom, and what that does is it keeps the food that you're cooking on it, it keeps it up off the bottom, which allows your food to stay out of any oil or any liquid that might come from whatever food you're cooking. In this case, it really helps with the peppers because you can cook these on a cookie sheet, but what happens is that all the oils and the cheese oils and the grease from the pepper, the water that comes out, it all lays on the pan, and then you get kind of a soggy popper. And in this case, with it being up off the pan, it makes it a lot better. So, like I said, it's a small investment, but not only for this recipe, but for a lot of recipes, it comes in handy. So right now, I'm going to put on a slice of bacon on each one of the poppers, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all the bacon in place. Just to let you know, the jalapenos that I got from the store this time were a little bit larger in size, which makes it good because it takes 2 or 3 bites to eat one. But I had to dip into that 1/3 of bacon I have left over. I usually reserve it for breakfast. Just to let you know too, I have family here this weekend, it's Labor Day weekend. I also have my granddog Monk, and anytime I put have bacon anywhere, Monk shows up, so you'll see him in the video. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to put it in a 405-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 or 25 minutes. You kind of want to watch it at the 20-minute mark. What I'm trying to do with that 405 degrees for the 20 minutes is you want to cook the pepper so it's not raw, right? You're trying to cook the pepper until it's just tender. And then what I'll do after the 20 or 25 minutes at 405 degrees, I'll turn on the broiler and I'll watch it until the bacon gets as crispy as I like it. And you can do it as crispy as you like it. And then I'll be back.
When you find you bet me, slip on by, yeah. Struck me, give me the reason this is all night long. Struck me, struck me, struck me. Get yourself together, boy. Struck me. Say you're a winner, but man, you're just a sinner down.
All right, this is what they look like coming out. 20 minutes at 405 degrees, about five or 6 minutes in the broiler on low. You want to keep an eye on them because depending on your broiler, you don't want to get them too crispy. Like I said, I had to add some of the other bacon from that last third that I had from that pound, and it had more fat than meat, so that's why I got a little bit of browned edges or whatever, but those will all go along with the flavor. The reason I came up with this recipe the way I have is because I've noticed a lot of the recipes, people wrap bacon around their jalapeno, and the bacon's real chewy, and I know it's cooked, but it's kind of like has a raw texture, and I don't care for that. So if you do it this way, you can make the bacon exactly the way you want it. If you want it raw, you don't have to broil it. If you want to get it crispy or crispier than this or a little less, you can just pull it out sooner. So now what I do is I take the barbecue sauce, and I have a food grade brush. You can get these at Walmart for like $3. And what I'm going to do is you don't actually brush, you just kind of dab it on. Get your brush full of barbecue sauce, like I said, of your favorite barbecue sauce, and just kind of dab it on each bacon strip. If you like a lot of barbecue sauce, put a lot on. But the barbecue sauce really plays with the smokiness of the poppers and the saltiness of the bacon. The sweet of the barbecue sauce really plays well with it. So everybody that I've ever made these for, parties or get-togethers or picnics, they really like them. So it's the poor man's shrimp. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these done, and I'll be back. Okay, so that's pepper poppers and Billy Squier. See you next recipe.
Put your left foot